Welcome to another edition of Front Porch Politics, a show that puts politics back into our communities. I'm Tim Boyum. We start this month here along the North Carolina coast, where there's a little bit of panic going on over homeowner insurance rates. It's been in the news a lot lately, with increases proposed as much as 99%. But if there's one thing we've learned, it's very complicated. But that does not take away the concern here along the coast. The waves, the breeze. North Carolina beaches just ooze relaxation. But that sight has also stirred up anxiety in recent months.
The news hit the Outer Banks really hard.
What is going on?
What's going on? Proposed interest rate hikes as a region in a state of stress.
One storm has the potential of plunging the state into an insurance crisis.
Don't live on the coast? Don't think you're immune to the crisis either.
The losses that the companies are seeing are not specific to the coast like you might think.
When we built this house, the horses were all around here.
In the 1980s, the Corolla wild horses roamed Corolla Light.
I would get out with a snow shovel and scoop out what the horses left behind.
Derek Crandall has watched his family grow here since 1987.
My two girls spent lots of time here. In fact, one was married just down beyond the gazebo.
It's a family treasure, but a treasure Crandall stresses about more and more.
We spend over $15,000 a year on the insurance for this house.
And it could get worse soon. The North Carolina Rate Bureau, which negotiates for insurance companies, wants a 42% average increase across North Carolina. But rates could jump 99% in some coastal counties. Rates for rental homes could jump 50% as well.
We got scared.
Chip Phillips has sold insurance in the Outer Banks since 2001, but it's also home.
I grew up here. My grandparents are buried here. My parents are buried here. My brother still lives here.
Over time, he's seen the challenges rise like the tide. More restrictive policies, less insurance companies, and higher rates.
One customer who his premium for his homeowners 2 years ago maybe was $1,000. His renewal came in at $9,000.
By now, you're probably asking why. Well, that's simple, yet complicated.
The indication is, at least from the recent history, an increase in the frequency and severity of large-scale natural disasters.
That's Joe Stewart. He works for a group representing insurance agents. He works in an office, but this setting seemed more scenic and appropriate.
The sense of it is where we are in terms of the life cycle of the planet is that there's going to be a lot more severe weather, at least for the next decade.
Natural disasters created the most expensive 4-year period in U.S. history, according to the American Property Casualty Insurance Association. In addition, the association reports construction materials jumped 34% and labor is up 27% since the start of the pandemic.
The carrier has to collect in premium enough to pay all the claims that they might imagine come in, run the company, pay the employees, run the marketing and advertising budget, all of that stuff, and make a reasonable profit off of the business of selling insurance.
If that doesn't happen, insurance companies could jump ship.
We don't want to get to that point where tax dollars that should be going to things like schools and hospitals are suddenly having to be diverted to try to keep the insurance marketplace in equilibrium.
And a warning sign here too. Nationwide chose not to renew 10,000 policies in eastern North Carolina last October.
It's one thing to face these sort of difficult premium increases. It's another thing to not find any insurance at all. A house that is uninsurable is not able to be sold.
Cruise down a beach road, beachfront homes, the image of millionaires. Some find it hard to feel sorry for increased rates, but that's not always the case.
We have about 40 folks that we would consider members that are here year-round.
Corolla Chapel pastor Jim Southern serves his congregation, but his church faces the same struggles.
I asked my business manager what was our wind and hail insurance premium, and he says it's $10,000.
But it's the people who fill the pews he worries about the most.
We keep gift cards, food gift cards around, because every once in a while someone will come in and go, I need groceries. You don't think about that when you see the big houses in Corolla.
Chip Phillips has more than one widow facing heart-wrenching choices.
This is her home. It's not a house. It's not a rental house. It's not a secondary. This is her home. And for her to have to sell because she can't even afford the insurance increase because she's living on a fixed income, something's not right there.
And if you think issues along the coast are just a coastal problem, think again.
Insurance is the coverage of a pool of people, and in North Carolina, we all are in this together, more or less.
And if you think that's the coast's fault, also think again.
In the state of North Carolina, there were $28 billion weather events across the state. That's thunderstorms, that's tornadoes, that's hailstorms that aren't specific to just the coast. So, and of course there's wildfires and things of that nature.
By the way, if you like to vacation on the coast, who do you think will help pay for potential increased insurance costs? Rental price hikes will likely follow.
I see a couple pieces of my roof over here.
Back in Corolla Light, Derek Crandall wishes for a better partnership between the insurance companies and homeowners.
Granted, this is high risk. We absolutely accept that. I'm not looking for, the insurance companies to give away and not be profitable, but they sure as heck can help us, be good about understanding where we can invest our money.
In the meantime, what's next? Rate Bureau's last rate request was actually 4 years ago. It filed for a 24.5% increase with a negotiated final rate hike of 7.9%. In 2018, a 17.4% request ended up at 4%, and in 2017, an 18.7% increase ended up at 4.8%.
If history is any guide, what the insurance commissioner will use is a hard conversation with the Rate Bureau to determine what's the least amount that carriers could expect to see as an increase that will keep them interested in doing business in North Carolina.
Some of you are likely saying, wait a minute, my rates have gone up since 2020. It's true. Roughly 40% of homeowners already pay higher rates due to what's known as consent to rate. It's a state law that allows companies to charge as much as 250% more than the maximum rate. It's unclear exactly when a final decision will come. The hearing is scheduled for October. In the meantime, the people who fill these pews and Beach Road wait and worry.
There's no reason why insurance should be the most expensive part of my owning of this house.
Derek Crandall and other owners up here hope for a tolerable solution to keep their homes and hearts in place.
I want great grandkids out there learning to surf here and having fun.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.